You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about Jon Gruden and the Las Vegas Raiders. As we know, we did a big video the other day on this. Hondo Carpenter coming out and saying that Mark Davis would very much be interested in bringing back the one guy that he trusts the most involved with the NFL, and that was Jon Gruden. Of course, former Raiders coach, Buccaneers Super Bowl winning coach, great Monday Night Football analyst. And Jon Gruden is a guy that a lot of people like. Look, likability is a big thing, and Jon Gruden is just likable. That's just where it is. The scowl, the way he handled himself on television, he turned himself into an NFL rock star. And Mark Davis adores him, all right? Well, we know Jon Gruden essentially run out of the league after emails conveniently got leaked a week apart to various woke mainstream media entities. Yeah, I said that. Sure did. And, of course, the fallout over all of the ists and isms that Jon Gruden was supposed to be led to Jon Gruden being forced to resign. But Jon Gruden didn't take it lying down. He's suing the NFL. He's suing Roger Goodell for an estimated $50 to $100 million. And somebody the other day described Jon Gruden as knowing where all the NFL's bodies are buried. Jon Gruden's one of these guys got a relationship because he's been in and around the league for 30, 35 years. He knows everything and everybody. That's just all there is to it. And something's going on because the NFL is so concerned about what's going to end up coming out in this lawsuit because they want it to go to arbitration, and they continue to take losses in Nevada court, and this stuff is getting closer to being made public and coming out. Who leaked the emails? Why was it done? Yada, yada, yada. Well, the NFL doesn't want that to come out, and now behind the scenes, supposedly there's been a nod to the Raiders that if you want to bring Jon Gruden back, go ahead and do it, as long as he'll drop that lawsuit. Now, if you're like me, you're like, damn, I'd like to see Chucky on the sideline. I would love to see it. I'd rather see the NFL squirm about what it is that could end up coming out in court and what can be made public by Jon Gruden's lawsuit. That's what I want to see. Well, when you're in the midst of being canceled, what happens is some stuff comes out, and all these media outlets get involved and start writing their hit pieces and this and that and the other. We saw one monumentally backfire on Deadspin the other day when they accused a Native American Chiefs fan of being in blackface. He was Native American. Oh, you wrote your hit piece. You didn't know that. And that story has went mega viral. Well, you're starting to see media outlets now. Well, by God, we got Jon Gruden canceled once. Let's try to make enough negativity pop out around Jon Gruden that we can make sure he doesn't come back. 3 reasons why the Raiders shouldn't rehire Jon Gruden. Here we go, and don't worry, in another part of this, we'll cover the 8 coaching candidates to keep an eye on. Look, Antonio Pierce may get this job, and all this may be a moot point anyway. And I did see somebody say Mark Davis may re-interview Rich Bisaccia. I think it's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. You know, I really don't. Players love him. Players love Antonio Brown. Players love Jon Gruden. Let's not kid ourselves. He's still lurking around the Saints right now, and Derek Carr. So we all know the story about, of course, I am hearing from multiple people around the league that if Jon is willing to drop the lawsuit against the league, they believe the NFL would get a passive nod to go back and rehire him. Okay, so the 3 reasons why they shouldn't. Here we go. I mean, this is what we're going to see. We're going to bring up him as a talent evaluator and a general manager. Well, don't hire him back as general manager. You know? Don't do that. Find somebody that he's got a relationship with, Jon Gruden, and hire that guy as a general manager. I mean, you can name all this stuff you want, all these players, and yeah, these players didn't work out. I mean, number one, Henry Ruggs as a player, he did hit. The problem is he had character issues and something happened that nobody could have anticipated. Jon Gruden could have never anticipated a dude coming out of Nick Saban's very militaristic program, which I love, Alabama Crimson Tide, that Henry Ruggs was ever going to get drunk, hit somebody, and kill somebody and end up in prison. I mean, from a talent standpoint, from just a pure pick, did the player hit and could he play? Yeah, Henry Ruggs was right on Ruggs for a while, okay? I mean, he still takes the hit for having drafted him. I get it, but that doesn't make him a poor talent evaluator. It doesn't. While Gruden is a good coach, he's a terrible talent evaluator GM. Then don't give him that job. That was a problem towards the end of his tenure with the Bucs when he was given the power to hire Bruce Allen as the team's general manager. During Chucky's second stint with the Silver and Black, he made a similar mistake by taking full control of the roster and picking Mike Mayock as a GM. Mayock admitted he answered to Gruden, and it was always rumored that the coach made the final call on the team's early round draft picks. Didn't they draft Max Crosby? I'm just wondering. I may be wrong on that. I don't think I am, but I may be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. So why would this be different this time? If Gruden takes over as head coach, he's going to want full control over the roster. Also, Las Vegas tried the model where the head coach and the general manager are connected at the hip. The former gets the final say in back-to-back hiring cycles. Both have failed. Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels were longtime friends, and that obviously didn't work. I'm just going to throw this out. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. How's that working out? It's the exact same model they used in San Francisco. And once again, the 49ers are, 9-3 right now? Couple of NFC championship games in there, Super Bowl appearance. That is the way it should actually be done. Yeah. Just because they didn't get it right with Ziegler, which, look, one could argue maybe they did get Ziegler right. And it was Josh McDaniels that they got wrong. Maybe they should have kept Ziegler. That's going to become a thing. All right, now you got this guy, Mo Moton, Bleacher Report. Jon Gruden's December-January record as Raiders head coach between 2018 and 2020. 2-3, 1-4, 2-3, 5-10. Let's dig into as many statistics as we can to try to squash this Jon Gruden thing as possible. While the 2018 season was a complete bust with just 4 total wins, the 2019 team was 6-4 with a chance to make the playoffs before losing 5 of the last 6 games. The next year was basically the same as Las Vegas won 6 out of the first 9 contests, only to lose 5 of the last 7 and miss out on the postseason again. What's even more damning, look at the wording there, for Gruden is how the 2021 campaign ended. That season, he infamously resigned in October due to a notorious email scandal. God. And the Raiders finally finished strong. They started strong that year too, hotshot. So I'm just putting that out. 55 coaches since the merger. Look who's putting this out, the AP. Could you trust anybody less than the Associated Press? I'm sure there's something at Deadspin, 55 coaches since the merger have had 35-plus regular season games in December and January. Jon Gruden's .388 win percentage ranks 54th. Quote, "We didn't have Gruden grinding us late in the year," an anonymous Raiders veteran told Silver. "Gruden would kill us and we would fall apart. The reason this team played so well down the stretch is Rich Bisaccia listened to the players and took it easy over the back half of the season. Jon Gruden's not capable of adapting? We don't think Jon Gruden can't learn from past mistakes." I bet he can. This isn't Josh McDaniels. This is not Josh McDaniels. No longer an offensive guru. They ranked 28th, 24th, 10th. That's pretty good. And 18th, okay, middle of the road, but still, respectively, as the game has passed the 60-year-old former coach by to a certain degree. Gruden might still be a decent play caller and offensive mind, but there are plenty of other young candidates who have a better track record over the last few years. Look, just title the article, Anybody But Gruden. You know, the red-haired white guy. Just say it. I mean, you know, I'm saying it right here. Read between the lines, folks. Read between the lines. Be smart. So this is a Las Vegas Review-Journal, and this is your coaching candidates. Guys, Jim Harbaugh is still in play here. I think he's going to the Bears, but he's going to probably get an interview with the Raiders. He's probably going to. Ben Johnson, OC for the Lions. Yeah, okay. I mean, look, David Shaw, former Stanford head coach, right off the Harbaugh tree, also with Raiders ties, just like Harbaugh. I like David Shaw a lot. I'm not going to lie. There's John, right there, Jon Gruden. Frank Smith, the OC with the Dolphins. I mean, Smith coached the Raiders tight end from 2018 to 2020. Drawn rave reviews as the Dolphins offensive coordinator. That's a guy to maybe watch because of the Raiders ties. Dan Quinn. Guys, I keep seeing this name pop up. It popped up last year. Look, one of the biggest stories on Black and White Sports, the big channel, one of the biggest stories ever was following the Dan Quinn meltdown and the outrage of Atlanta Falcons fans wanting that SOB out of town. They wanted him out. And I understand he's doing a hell of a job with the Dallas Cowboys right now. A hell of a job. But we've talked about on this channel at great length about guys that are great all-time home run defensive and offensive coordinators that aren't the guys as head coach. Norv Turner. I mean, that's, arguably maybe the greatest offensive coordinator of all time, or at least one of the top three. Norv Turner was just okay. Just like Dan Quinn was just okay. Led Atlanta to 2 playoff berths and an appearance in Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. During his 6 seasons, they could not wait to get him out of town in Atlanta. Egio Evero, yeah. I mean, he's an up-and-comer. He's a riser. But that Panthers team isn't any good either. Raheem Morris, I don't get that. I don't understand the fire around Raheem Morris again. I'm just saying, you're going to start seeing this more and more. The media's, they got Gruden canceled. Oh, shit. Gruden may get a reprieve. He may get another chance. And the media doesn't want to see that happen. It's nuts. It truly is. And look, I like Jon Gruden a lot. If you gave me a choice between Harbaugh and Jon Gruden, I'm probably hiring Harbaugh. In fact, I know I'm hiring Harbaugh. All right? Just because there's one thing about Harbaugh's resume I love. He has the ability, and he's proved it, that he can turn programs around. Michigan football, 49ers, and the 49ers were a wreck for a decade before Harbaugh took over. I really want to see Jon Gruden burn down the NFL and Goodell. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.